Welcome back to my lovely HP community and the 5D collective. We are going to start off with a couple of quotes. So, when you're harnessing the power of love, the field of consciousness is what you're harnessing. But it's because you have the ownership of the mind and of the sense of self. So, you're an integrated brain and you unconsciously love who you are with flaws and imperfections. This is very important. So, you know how to put into practice mindfully living and loving, and or spiritually living or loving. Some of us come with faith and mysticism and more, and we use our own words right here, 5D mystic. Some of you are simply put with good integrated brain, emotional, mental, and physical intelligence people who love to be your own leader, and so you enjoy empowered conversations and to put into practice that which will lead you to becoming more and more soft and wiggly as you go with the flow from within you when dealing with unknowns, uncertainties, and unwanteds, because you've been presented with an opportunity, the inner growth. So you don't do the threat safety behavior mode. You do the I have an opportunity to be in a potentially challenging mode. Really give me a challenge with the emotional plane. I don't have one. Yep, you know what my challenge will be when the time comes? I love to love, and my baby, he loves to laugh, and he loves to love, and he loves to learn, and he loves to expand and dance and not cast stones and be a smart ass. So when you meet true love, true life, true people, it's a real boy, yay! So it's only when we get mindfully living and loving people. The enlightenment soul age group is what I am, though, by the way. So the relationship soul age group, they have a whole different shit going on. Leave it alone. I'm going to leave it alone. So, securely attached person right here. Okay, you own your sense of self. You own your core narrative relational solo. You don't do revenge, no envy, no jealousy. You know forgiveness is not, I forgave. It's an act. No, it's an active feeling that you're in love with me. I just can't stop this feeling deep inside of me. Girl, you just don't realize what you do to me when you hold me. Okay, so again, that which is you harnessing love. All you need is love. Dun, dun, dun. All you need is love. Love. Love is all you need. And there's nothing you can't do that can't be done, nothing you can sing that can't be sung, nobody that you can't help that doesn't need help or something like that. And you can play the game of life. It's easy, as well as be yourself. It's easy. So, being you mindfully, we don't cast stones. When you have spiritual and mystic and faith, you also have a lot more. My lovely oversoul, thank you so much. I'm a feminine, divine masculine. Masculine doesn't matter, but you can call me divine feminine or feminine. I'm the embodiment of the inner and outer nurture, and that means that I don't capture you because that's for the distorted ones. Divine masculines or masculines, again, when they're empowered, they own their own feminine, divine. That's when we're going to meet actual true love and life and human. Means that they're an integrated brain. Okay, so they don't actually have lack of self-awareness, accountability, regulation, which is why they, I'm going to pause for reflection. They know how to not bring into the room that which is from Cusco land. They know how to have functional adult conversations. Okay, so people who are 3D, 4D, they don't own their sense of self. They don't own the depths of them. They are not their eternal child. And in fact, you'll notice that they are manipulable by the public figures that they follow, by beliefs, by a bunch of things, and they're cut off from pure consciousness. So we allow them to think they're stand up because they wear fancy suits. What we know is going on in here is a different story. We, on the other hand, know what true love looks like and feels like, what it means to be vulnerable and to build genuine relationships are a gift. So every day of our life is a special moment, which is why the mystics and the mindfully living and loving person is going to be okay with growing healthy self-worth relationships, and those who have unhealthy self-worth, we allow ourselves to be the pachas. So we're our true self always with integrity. And so healthy boundaries means that you are having a good time with all people. You're playful. You know fearlessness and bold is not me yelling, shaming, blaming, faulting, or bringing in my own opinions in a way of charge. No, I take a lead softly, like a true leader, and with equanimity. And actually, if you point out, I think you're lying. No, I'm not, but I do have an opinion. It's strong. I'm sorry. Does this? So, you get to chit chat. Functional adults, they don't make it about them. They are like the light of speed in knowing how to be independent when life presents a mystery. Life is a mystery. And they continue to be who they are and who they love and what they love because they know healthy boundaries and that spirit, God, universe, dark matter, dark energy, we've been made the way we are going to be. So our personality, we have our temperament, and then we have our secure attachment, whole self. That's when you're going to meet a kind, unconditionally loving person. Also, we have the eternal child of us because we're a tree of life. At least I bring here true spirituality. So we're not only doing mindfulness, living, and loving because that's like saying it's only sciences. I bring to you also the angle and aspect. I come with Jesus. I come with faith. I come with spirituality. I come with, we treat our brothers and sisters in the absence of casting stones so that we can walk a walk and talk a talk and lead heaven in the body of every person who wants to be there. And that means they want to connect to their anima mundi like we are. And that means that they are their eternal child or want to be. And that means they're a beautiful star or want to be. And that they want to own their mind, their divine masculine, and then their divine feminine, the mother. Okay, and then use their masculine and feminine. So it's people who want to be healthy self-worth that I'm talking to, and that's why, again, we don't pretend to mindfully live in love like that Zen master. We actually do mindfully live and love. And that's why we build true, loving, long-lasting relationships. And when we meet people who don't know how to do it, we don't do much about it. I learned from my facade friend how to leave it alone. And here's a couple of quotes that will fall right within our theme. Someday, after mastering the winds, that's where I think of thoughts because the air is wind, the waves, emotions, and that limbic system getting into your prefrontal, the tides and gravity. Here we got our lovely earth grounding yourself. Ground yourself, okay? Wait for it. We shall harness for God the energies of love, open-heartedness, secure attached, whole 1-year-old here, 3-year-old, all my child parts sleeping, and then for a second time in the history of the world, man, woman, they, human, will have discovered fire, and that's our adolescent essence, and that's our whole 3-year-old heart. So when you have the essential spark, the social engagement, novelty, and creative expression. And so when we're building true love, true life, true passionate aliveness relationships, you're going to keep on growing secure connections. Even if there are those who are not secure connections, we learn how to notice their moods and we leave it alone because, they choose them, we choose us, and then we choose to hang out and have a dance. Whoever is soft and yielding is a disciple of life. The hard and stiff will be broken. The soft and supple will prevail. Lao Tzu. So we are the soft and supple. We are the ones who also know how to work and have fun with life. Again, that's why we do 5D Christ consciousness. It's unconditional love. And it's you as a whole individual being your true self and then being able to mindfully and or spiritually live and love people, yourself, harness that power of love. And as you do that and master mental, emotion, physical plane of you, you're going to experience more of that field of consciousness itself because the power of love is, now that you have different ways you got here and all that, but essentially here as a self-empowered person, what I can tell you is hope and kindness, they're easy for those of us that harness the power of love. That's because we are able to understand that not everybody is yet mindfully self-aware, accountable, or regulating, that not everybody knows love, not everybody got the chance, and some people are going to choose fear because they're not ready for this. They want the threat state, they're comfortable with it, so again, with faith, and your own fate in your own hands, but with faith, mysticism, and the knowing we don't judge another person's spiritual process. They will choose if they want to tap into their infinite higher human conscious potential life experience or not. And as for the future, we get to keep protecting, supporting it, and moving forth with that which is love. So as we conclude, harnessing love looks something like this. Besides the part of when you have a relationship. So for me, the relationship with consciousness is one with God, is one with Akash. I'm an Akashic record reader. I'm also a Reiki master. And I'm adding to my lovely toolkit as I continue with mindfulness practices, life coaching, And also there's family, the constella, familiar constellations, if I remember correctly, and hypnotherapy. Maybe at one point I have that in the back pocket. I have a lot of different beautiful, amazing courses as a brain that loves to learn, and a mind and a practitioner who loves to support all of those who walk a walk and talk a talk here as a mentor, masterclass again in our spiritual retreats in the future. So those who embody their whole self and they choose this, it's just a journey that has and there's no words to describe when you're embodying the essence of love in life, and you're embodying it in form. When you're embodying the eternal child of you in form, and that is with this relationship. So it's special directly for the person as a mystic. For those who are not, they still have explained to me, the ones who are in the capacity to be one from a science's perspective, so meaning technical, I'll put it that way, they enjoy it, that flow state. Okay, so you feel soft and at ease, and you're able to be relaxing. So that's why I feel blessed even more, because I have past lives that I see. I have astral travel. I contact, things that are for some people familiar, others you're not. Mediumship, channeling, the sphere of Akash in and of itself. In fact, I believe they have different ways that they call it. One person was talking about it as the unconscious. Let me see if I can find it. So relational field is one that I know, and then others will also use the word Akash. I know Sadhguru uses it. He says once he got asked about Akash, and he's like, go to Google. And so basically it involves our past, but also everything that we're building now. So here's where, yes, the collective unconscious or Akashic records. So collective unconscious is a very fascinating plane to go, but also there's the quantum field. So, again, we have a lot of different ways we could talk about it. When you harness the power of love with your loved ones and your oversoul, you will always remember, if you're an empowered feminine, that which is free will. And so while we can share with each other frustration, right, those emotions when things are changing up, the ones who are mindfully aware and spiritually aware will notice the individuals who are casting stones, as how I'm going to put it. Now, what they did with a bunch of the divides of the groups, light workers, spiritual beings, and then identifiers, so they get rigid with it. Or like the twin flame thing, okay? So they began to say one group of the twin flame group was awakened, the other wasn't. They test each other, not test each other, right? There's stages, not stages. So all of that rigidity was added to these very intimate relationships, might I add. But that's the part of why you'll notice those who are part of a 3D, 4D collective, they are not in love with who they are because they're not able to be their whole self yet. It's like my facade friend who he's his teenage version. I love my friend, but he is a perfect example of why I don't need to lecture Cusco. The minute I notice I got a flag that is basically going to switch it up, it's because of him. I thank him. So when a man, woman, I don't know any days, but I notice that with their group, they have a different behavior with me. They have a different way of talking. They have a different everything. I know I have Cusco in town. And that's basically a person who's not going to be reliable. They're going to be manipulable. They're going to be changeable. They're reliable. Basically, yes, if it's a good day. If it's a bad day, then they're not going to be necessarily reliable. And, since a person who doesn't take owning their mind's sense of self and core narrative relational self seriously, again, like my friend solo self, they won't be experiencing the depths of the emotional, mental, and physical plane to the depths of their own self, let alone allow another person to be in that depth. And it's not that they need to give us permission, it's that they won't be open and aware of it. And so that's the part of where when you feel deeply and think deeply, and then you're experiencing the wholeness of you, and you notice others are not, that 0 to 8-year-old, it's I'm going to use a different word. it's going to be something you're aware of, so I'm aware of, but you're going to stop talking about it because other people actively cast stones as if they can tell another person what choices to make for their life. Now, while a feminine I am, which is why I always get it seems like you think you know everything. As my lovely divine masculine friend, the mystic one, when he's talking to me and I'm talking to him, and he's not the only one. Masculines will typically come in with that, which is why I'm not impressed, because I know that the minute that I'm having anyone do that, I got a person who has low self-esteem. Because if you have high self-esteem, meaning you're a healthy, self-worth, empowered human being, you're not going to feel that I'm doing any of that. You're going to be able to just know I have an opinion, because that's how it works when you're self-empowered. It's you got words coming out of your mouth. That's about it. You got a subjective opinion. I learned how to not make it very visible because of teenagers making it seem that I needed to do this. And I'm like, I don't understand. I ain't your mom. I ain't your pop. I ain't no one. And even if I were, I'm not capturing you and taking away your free will to have a subjective experience. And I'm not asking you for approval of what subjective experience, because you don't live in my body. You don't live in my heart. You don't live in my mind. So this is when a differentiated self, as a whole 3-year-old, is respecting others, but noticing that others seem to not enjoy, or somehow, somewhere, they want to tell me how to do life and how to be and how to think and how to feel and how to wield my words and how to do everything. And I'm like, okay, wow, you really want to paint a picture of me. Okay, so what I'm trying to bring to the forefront as we close on out is when you harness, it's the power of love and you are connected to pure consciousness, you don't lose yourself. You own yourself. I own Maria, so she doesn't change. She's a verb, like Dr. Daniel Siegel would say. When you have a whole self, it's verb. And soft thinking, soft feeling. I'm consistently riding the waves, and that's because my prefrontal is down. I learned how to bring it down by stopping to vent. I stopped to yell. I did a bunch of things as I got to my mid-teens, and then my younger, old adult age and stuff like that. It's easy. It's easy and fun. So today I get to share with you all how to put it into practice, the mindset and the mindfulness, and then for those who integrate other of our lovely toolkit, the Universal Love Transmission Sessions, Reiki with personal development. We have a folder or a playlist on YouTube for free. That'll be part of our lovely tier content. And then we also have some channeled guidances and messages and food for thought with our lovely tarot. And that one isn't the one I wanted to show. This one actually is it. This one's really beautiful. The sun. Here comes the sun. Na 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 na. Here comes the sun. Na na na. Okay, so with that being said, being playful, fearless, and bold is really fun. Also, being able to be that which you were meant to be from the beginning of your days as a child to when you grow up. If you had an inner child-centric environment, then you'll know how it feels to always be gooey. You know there's no wrong paths. You also know that you want to share life with people. So that's why what I was saying is when someone thinks they can tell another person how to do and feel and be in life, a feminine will notice it. And that's because my inner child adult will come and try to stand up for that inner child, and you'll notice that those who don't stand up for their own inner child, they will tell you to fuck off. I'm not kidding. No, not that way. But basically, a person who doesn't take ownership and bring forth who they are from within, they're going to stay that Cusco version. So I did notice at a certain point that no, people don't own their subconscious and conscious unless they go either to therapy and get themselves online, or they didn't lose and they get themselves self-aware, accountable, and regulating, and begin to choose to harness the power of love, not laundry. So you use emotions, not stories, excuse me. So yeah, that's the part of depth. Depth comes from your emotional plane with your mental plane, and you wielding the mind because you own it, and wielding the heart because you own it, and wielding the gut. And you know that all you need is love. Dun, dun, dun. All you need is love. Love is all you need. So when people don't know how to accept who you are just as you are, and you accept you with flaws and imperfections, you don't get I'm so pretty. You don't get gloomy. You don't get bitter. You don't get upset at people. You see what I'm saying? You don't lose your soul. You lose your connection to God, Jesus, to Holy Spirit because somebody backslapped you, backhanded you, meaning That's the connection that also Yasser is sharing with you. When you have faith, you don't say, God did this to me or God doesn't exist. You say, I got 2 hands, 2 feet. God is there. He didn't give me anything I didn't able to handle. I'm still breathing. And that's how it works when you're an emotionally intelligent person, because you're empowered from the heart. It's Jesus's. Thank you, Jesus, and also my body and my mother and my twin. And yes, my younger sister too, but she came later, so she I get to spoil her. You see, so when you have yourself, you know who you are. And oh, it could be my DNA. Okay, so emotional resiliency, mental resiliency, it comes for many reasons, but it begins with you, and it begins with this, and it begins with this, and it also begins with you offering, I can show you a world. And when somebody says, I think you fell off your head, I don't love you like that, you don't say, now I won't ever love again. As a feminine, it's not hard to let go of anything or start anything new. I love to love, and my baby, he loves to laugh, and he loves to live, and he loves to love, and he loves to learn, and he loves to not cast stones, and he loves to expand intellectually, emotionally, and physically. Tickle my fancy. So when we're all here, come on over. That's where healthy self-worth partners. We are wind beneath each other's wings, and we love consistently who we are. And we don't change ourselves for each other. No, we actually appreciate each other with our differences completely, and we have a tickle and a fun. So we'll be back again with more. In the meantime, thank you for stopping by. Remember, please, we don't look at people who are not able to bring kindness as evil, Knievel, medieval. They need therapy if they want it. If they don't, they won't. And the human suffering love narrative, they lack the self-awareness, accountability, regulation, and desire to move out of their safety behavior threat zone. There's plenty of people talking about it to their that's the sympathetic modulated to their social engagement, ventral vagal state. Those are the words. So you can choose what you want to do. And that choice is what's going to help you to start learning how to harness the left and right together. Because as long as you don't allow them to work together, you won't have a default mode network that is down regulated, because you won't have the bilateral integration. You make it possible by allowing emotions to come up in thoughts, but for you to mindfully be aware, accountable, and regulate. So and somebody tells me that I can't be me today, I know how not to say much, because of all the other people as I got to grow up who wanted to keep telling me and correcting me and telling me and correcting me. And at a certain point, you're like, okay, you're asking me to not be Maria. But we'll see. If I can make it happen, I'll make sure. But you won't be my partner, because, yeah, that's not a partner. Somebody who wants to paint me a picture and not say, oh, this is who we are. Wow, this is amazing. I want to hear more. So we meet people who are healthy self-worth, and those are the people who see us, and then they also soothe us. So that means whatever is of the depth of importance to us, they don't belittle it. Our mystic stories, they don't belittle. Okay, so when you find complete and whole appreciation, you will know it, because it will be a person who has you feeling every depth of whatever it is you feel. So whenever I know of having been cut short, it's because that person is, why is she making such a big deal about it? There's nothing here, or their heart's closed or something like that. So yes, we're all readable, because we're all a nervous system. The difference is some of us know how to keep it to ourselves, because, when people are reactive, like my facade friend, you're making a big deal out of nothing. I understood you. No, you didn't. Yes, I did. Not really. But okay, I get it, Cusco. This is who you are. You're going to keep on doing the lying business. I'm going to leave it alone, because you're not going to go and claim ownership of all of you. When people don't claim ownership of all of their true self, they're a teenager. They're paused from their child parts. So we might see them eventually. It all depends. Meantime, we get to be safe haven seeker base for ourselves and then for each other. Come on over. Again, it's all love, and it's every step of the way. Every step you take, it takes time. So as long as we're here for each other, the heaven in the body is a possibility for all of the ones who are claiming and owning their sense of self, their core, their narrative, their relational, and want to do mindfulness with us. Some are mystics, some are not, but we don't belittle each other. We allow ourselves to have fun together. Sciences and spirituality, they come together like this. So we'll be back with more again. Thanks for stopping by.